Hi, welcome to Heather's Plant Corner. There's a question I've often wondered, do plants communicate? The short answer is yes, and I'm fascinated by this field of study. So first, let's talk about plants outside, in your garden and in your yard. There's a neat documentary called Plants That Hear, Touch, and Remember, and it's available on YouTube. It shows how plants have a vascular system for the fluid distribution throughout the plant, how plants have an electric network where information travels. Now, the roots of the plant are the first to detect that there are any problems or threats. Lack of water, for instance, the roots then tell the signal, they put the signal up through the plant that says, whoa, you need to really slow down on your growth. Plants can detect certain frequencies, especially the sound of buzzing bees. Then they start increasing their nectar. And this is an interesting thing. In fact, some studies show that when there are a lot of bees, the plants even make the nectar sweeter. When a plant is distressed because of damage, especially from a pest, it releases these volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, into the air. This signals to nearby plants to boost their own defenses. There's another documentary called Intelligent Trees that I found so interesting because it documented how trees communicate. They warn each other of danger. This is beneath the surface. There's this huge network in healthy soil of fungi, and it is like a chat between all the plants that share this network. They share nutrients, they warn of danger. It's like they pull their resources together to benefit each other. I find that fascinating. So yes, plants do communicate in a variety of ways. But what about your houseplants? Yes, many of the same things apply to houseplants. They also release these VOCs into the air when they're under distress. And what is happening at the roots will follow that electric network and show up in the plant. So the question is, can I learn to speak plant? Yes. And if you're new to having houseplants, it can be hard to hear what your houseplants are trying to communicate to you. So here are just a few basic tips. Do you have wilting or perhaps droopy leaves? This is usually the first sign of dehydration in a plant. Maybe you need to get on a better watering schedule or need to check the plant more often. If it's summer, maybe your home is a little warmer and the water is disappearing more quickly. So that's the first thing to check. Do you have many leaves at the same time? This is usually a sign you have overwatered the plant or there's poor drainage. Perhaps it needs repotted, or you just need to not give it so much love. Slow down on the watering. Does it have brown tips or edges that are crispy on the plant? This is usually a sign that it's low humidity. Perhaps the plant needs more moisture in the air. You can do this by moving your plants together. This kind of creates a micro environment and boosts the humidity around all the plants. It also could be a sign of sunburn though, so if the plant is too close to the window, it can also get brown, crispy leaves. So check that. If you have very leggy or spindly growth, that's usually the sign that the plant is reaching for light. That means it needs to be moved to a location where there's more light, or you need a grow light so that the poor little plant isn't reaching for the light. This is also why you turn your plants often, because otherwise the plant is going to grow better on one side if it never gets turned. So keep turning your plant and look for signs that it's reaching for the light. Sudden leaf drop. That's something that usually signals that there's been a change. Did you move the plant and it's just not used to its new environment? Or perhaps it is getting a draft. Sometimes this happens at the change of season, the heat or the air conditioning is blowing on the plant and it doesn't like it. So it's trying to communicate to you, I don't like this draft blowing on me. That could be one cause of leaf drop. The other thing you also want to check is your plants, as you go around watering them, look for any webs in the plant or any sticky spots on the leaves. This is a signal that your plant has pests, maybe spider mite, aphids, gnats, and it's important to isolate that plant quickly, which is also why when you bring any new plant into your home, you do not want to place it with your collection. You want to keep it isolated for a couple of weeks to make sure you are not bringing any pests into your home. But since pests just sort of happen, it's important to often check your plants for any of these signs that there are pests on the leaves or in the soil. These are amazing ways that plants communicate. And maybe your plant's trying to communicate with you. You just have to listen. Look for the signs that your plant is under distress because it may be trying to tell you something. So here's those few simple things that you can check. If none of that works, Google it. Take a picture of your plant, and there are millions of helpful websites that will come up. A little overwhelming sometimes to try and get to the bottom of what's going on with your plant. But remember, plants are amazing. They are so beautiful and add so much to your life. So listen to your plants. And it's okay to talk to them. They like it. Hope you're having a great day.